Welcome to the Waves Business Coaching Podcast, where you can equip yourself with the tools and insights to build the dream team that your business needs. You can lead with more confidence, master your people challenges, and reclaim your freedom. I'm your host, Jacob Karnes, a business coach and author of Master Your First Job. This week on the podcast, I interview Jess Miller. She is a business coach and she specializes in offers. We have a great conversation about optimizing the offers you already have, creating a hell yes offer for both you and for your ideal client, and even things that you might not think about as offers. We even go into job postings and hiring the right people and how that's an offer as well, and how to optimize that, make it the best for you and your business and for your ideal client. I wrote a book last year called Master Your First Job to help first-time employees thrive in their roles and as a tool to help business owners better understand and develop young talent. If you'd like a free copy of this book, you can go to masteryourfirstjob.com/free. That's masteryourfirstjob.com/free. You can get a free e-copy of the book, both with PDF and EPUB, and there's even instructions on how to send that to your Kindle if you're interested in that. Let's dive into this week's interview and my great conversation with Jess Miller. Jessica, thank you so much for being on the Waves Business Coaching Podcast. I know this episode is going to offer a ton of value on offers. First, I'd love for you to share a little bit about yourself and how you got to doing what you do.
Yeah. So my name is Jess Miller. I'm a business and growth strategist. I didn't start there. I actually am a pharmacist by training and have my MBA. I worked in corporate America for many years.
Shout out.
Building teams. Yeah. Doing all the things.
Got the quarter zip on to represent corporate America. So There you go.
That's right. Oh my gosh. So funny. So true. I worked in corporate America building teams and working on sort of global brands in the medical industry for years. And I'd always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And I thought entrepreneurs were special snowflakes that I was not one of. Yep. And so I kind of stood on that cliff for a long time, waiting and thinking, okay, I don't know if I'll ever do this. I had a crazy health scare 7 years back. That really changed everything. It was one of those moments where you just realize, hey, I'm going to go after my dreams, even if it's terrifying, no matter what. Yeah. And I sort of jumped off that cliff. And to be honest, I've never looked back. It was the best decision I've ever made. And at the time, I started working on money mindset. So I was really focusing on people and the internal journey of entrepreneurship. And I came out into the marketplace and I was working with all these like awesome individuals who were capable, had great ideas, good offers, all the things, and they were making no money. And I was like, what is going on here? This is like an epidemic. That cannot happen. So I pivoted and I said, listen, it is an internal journey, but there are also brass tacks to building a business and thriving that are underpinned by the data to make sure that what you're doing is actually working. That needs to happen. So I moved to business coaching. And at that time, it was right when COVID hit. And my business exploded. It totally exploded.
Wow. I thought you were going to say the opposite. No, it exploded. Okay.
Exploded. Yeah. People saw what was going on in the marketplace. They needed help. And so they came into a group program that I had at the time called the 10K Accelerator. Nice. And it was really focused on helping people get to consistent 10K months. And I realized through that offer that the number one thing that these people had and or needed in order for their business to thrive with ease was a hell yes offer. It was an offer at the epicenter of their business that sold itself. And the more binge-worthy and exciting that offer was for the owner and for their clients, the easier it was for them to make money. And frankly, the faster and whole lot more fun than doing it the other way around. And so I started focusing in on the offer. I created the Hell Yes Offer program from there. And today, that's really where my focus and my expertise is. It's like, how do you create an offer that everybody wants that's going to really be the engine behind your business growing? And it informs all those other pieces, your marketing, the people you hire, all the things. And how do you essentially do less and make a lot more? Because it is one of the most powerful assets in your business once you optimize it.
Okay. I wrote down a question I'm going to come back to. Okay. I hope it's not derail us because it's something I hadn't thought about till now as you were talking.
All right.
I want to come back to the Hell Yes offer. I want to pause real quick and ask, Jessica, what was your first job?
My first job was in a coffee shop in a hospital where I was essentially like a short order cook. There was a counter. People would come in and sit there. There were some tables. There was actually a little microphone where you'd be like, grilled cheese and fries, it's ready, like that. Amazing. Kind of a diner. Oh, basically like a diner. I grew up in New York, and I was saying this to you earlier, Jacob, that it was one of the best jobs that I have
Yeah.
ever had. It was fun. I was
Yeah.
part of something like dynamic. I had great coworkers. The music was going. It's like 1995. Like everything is good. And I really learned the power of quality and customer service. Like do
Yeah.
something really well and make people happy, go the extra mile. And I had the autonomy during that job to be creative, to do the things and kind of let my own personality shine. And I loved it. And I was making great money. So I did that into college on the weekends. It was
Yeah.
great. I still love it. Still keep in touch with many of those people, which is crazy
That is
decades later.
crazy. I told someone, I wrote this in my book, but I asked the question because in my book, Master Your First Job, my last chapter is on having fun at work
Yeah.
and like this
Yes.
idea that you only get your first job one time. Like, yes, all this stuff is valuable, but also don't take yourself too seriously. Have a good time while you're doing it. Like this, all the things in the book do not juxtapose having fun. In fact, I
That's
said it was the
right.
most important chapter. And that to the 5 guys that were my wedding, 6th being my brother-in-law, all 5 of those people worked with me at Chick-fil-A at the same time. And so
So
it
see?
was like I got the 5 people in my way, my 5 closest friends all worked together at Chick-fil-A at the same time, which is special, right? Like you said, I still
So
talk to the people I
special.
worked with.
Yeah.
And I think learning those lessons of quality and customer service and the importance of that at a young age, like you said, it's shaped your business. It shaped the way I run my business. And those are things you can learn at a first job, which is why I think it's so important to get that right and to take it
Hmm.
seriously. Have fun, but take it seriously. It's still a job, and you can learn from it. So, okay, the hell yes offer. Is this a hell yes for the customer, for the business owner, or is it both?
Both. It's
Okay.
absolutely both.
Okay.
Yes. You want it
So
to be hell yes for both of you.
So walk me through what makes it a hell yes offer and how does it resonate for both audiences, then both the business owner or the business itself and for the customer?
Okay. So one of the biggest gaps that people have in their offers is that they don't start with what is hell yes for them.
Okay.
As entrepreneurs, we often look external to us, like what is going on in the marketplace? What will people buy? What's trending right now as the starting point for our offers? If you take nothing away from this episode today, except for this one thing, it is start with your hell yes. You want to think about what lights you up. What is the thing that gets you out of bed in the morning that you say hell yes to? Because when you start there, what you dream and scheme of and the direction you go in is a totally different direction, and it feels completely different than if you start somewhere else out there in the ether. So the first thing that makes an offer a hell yes is that the hell yes starts with you. And there
Wow.
are so
See.
many people, right? They think of these things and then they shove it under the rug and they keep moving because they think it's not possible. They don't know how to do it. It's too out there, right? All the things, which takes all the fun away from it because
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
the energy, right, that pushes you forward. So you want to start with your hell yes and you want to craft an offer that's hell yes for you. And then you find the people who it's hell yes for also. That's the first piece of designing it. The second piece is you want to own a problem and you want to be very problem specific. The thing that calls in your people is when you talk to the problem that they have very specifically. So it's clear, it's concise, and it's on point, and it is directly for them. So your offer's hell yes for you energetically. You know the problem you want to solve all day long, and you're really clear about that. And you make sure that you're agitating it whenever you can, because, right, this is the Rolodex in people's mind. They're thinking, I've got this problem. Who do I know? They are not thinking Jacob. They are not thinking Jess Miller. They're thinking this problem. And that's how they file you in your brain.
Yeah.
So you think about, you own that problem, call your people in with an awesome offer by being very specific about that problem and clear. And then the third piece is have a compelling solution. I don't know about you, Jacob, but I see a lot of offers every day. Most of them are boring. Like,
Yeah.
yes, they're solving the problem. It's not that compelling. Like, give people what they really want. Like, ask yourself, if I went one more step, what would make this a hell yes? Like, I've got that problem and she's going to solve it in that way. And yes, click, sold. Go with that energetic piece where you're connecting the problem to the solution and make it a no-brainer. And when you have those three things in concert, you have a hell yes offer. And your business becomes hell yes because it's energetic. People feel it. They see it. You're cranking out all these results and it sells itself really.
I like starting with what makes it a hell yes for you as the business and as the business owner, because you're right. And that you can pick out and you can see whenever people are and are not passionate about what they're doing.
Totally. Yes.
And I mean, it makes a big difference. I want to work with someone who is like all about
Yeah.
what they're doing, like who's obsessed with it. Um, I like finding people with hobbies that way, right? It's like,
Yes.
I mean, even the content I consume, like YouTube, you can tell when someone's making a video about something that's whatever, or when someone's like passionate about the topic they're
Totally.
talking about, right? And that makes it a lot more fun when someone's into it. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's something until we had talked, I hadn't thought about it like that. I definitely started with what does the market need?
Sure.
Okay, I get the problem thing, right? Let me own a problem, let me identify a problem. But I really didn't start with what's the big win for me? Like what
Mhm.
am I excited about? I think starting the business I did, but not with my offer
Right.
as far as, what's a hell yes for me. So I think that's huge. So what's a first step then that business owners could take in simplifying this and like getting to what actually works when it comes to their offer?
Yeah. So if you have a business that you're just starting, you want to tap into this energy. Do not overlook this. It is everything. It is just important as like running your numbers.
Yeah.
So you want to give yourself the time and the space. And I always tell people, you don't have to be sitting in front of your computer, like banging this out. Go to
Yeah.
someplace where you're inspired. Like if you want to sit in a beautiful space, go to the coast, whatever it is,
Yeah.
but get yourself in an environment that really drives that creativity. Go for a walk,
Right.
whatever it is. So start with that as part of your business plan. Like really make it a non-negotiable piece. If you are an existing business owner, one of the most powerful things you can do is to lean into what have you done that you're loving and that is
Mm,
working. So that piece of like energetically, I'm looking at 2024, like what lit me up? What was the stuff that felt so easy and that I could do like all day long and not care about, what is that thing that's driving the energetic part of your business? And then marry it with what is working. So one time I actually launched an offer because I'm a music fan and Jacob, you and I talked about this, love music.
yeah.
And I was like, you know what gets me lit up is like going to concerts. Like I love this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one day I was like, why isn't this part of my business? And so I actually crafted an offer that was called the Rock Your Business VIP Day. And what this what it was a VIP day that was actually built around different locations where there were concerts that I really wanted to go to. And as part of the VIP day, we did their growth plan. And at the end, we celebrated by going to the concert. So I ended up working with a client in Vancouver where we did a VIP day where we fleshed out their growth plan. We saw all the opportunities. This is how you're going to make money. Awesome. Let's go. And then we went and saw Coldplay and it was freaking awesome. It was awesome. It was
And
the
they put
most
on a
fun they'd
great
had.
concert.
So good. So good. And for the client, it was a hell yes. Like we got the tickets, we got the thing. Like, let's go. Like this is the kickoff to the rest of your life this year. It was so fun. So yeah, I went off on a tangent with that. But, I think looking at what worked for me, like when I looked at that, I was like, this was a no brainer for me. I'm going to carry this forward. And so I was making money doing that. It was super fun. I love my clients. So now I'm like, great. How do we take that forward and optimize it? Like, how do I do that even better? And that was super hell yes for me. So if you're an existing business, there is data to show you where your best opportunities are. Sometimes it's hard to figure that out alone, which is why, a coach or a consultant can help you.
Yeah.
But you don't want to bulldoze things over and start from scratch. There's something in your business right now that could explode your growth. What is it? And that hell yes energy starts that process for you.
So that's something you've mentioned is optimizing an offer you already have.
Yes.
What's one of the biggest mistakes you see businesses make with, I guess, their own offers, and how can they optimize an offer they already currently have instead of just, I think it's overwhelming to think I have all this stuff. I have to tear it down and start from scratch. Like, how do I use what I already have to optimize that and make a better offer?
Yeah, I think people make two mistakes. Number one, they get to the point where they're like hitting their head against the wall and they're like, I just need to burn it down.
Mm,
Like that's what they do. The only way is like, I'm done with that thing. I got to go do this other thing. So that's one thing. Like they kind of burn it to the ground. And then the other unfortunate part about like the societal messaging is like more equals more. So they're like, I'm just going to launch this other offer. Like people will, you have a high ticket offer, like, I'm just going to start a membership. I'm like, what are you talking about? So we think adding these things on and just launching a quote unquote other offer is the key to growing. And I'm here to tell you, yes, you can grow like that. I'm not here to say, like, if you add another offer, you're not going to make any money or grow. You are possibly, but it will be slower, it will be harder, and it will not be as much fun
yeah.
because any of us who have a business know that just adding an offer is a slew of work streams
Yep.
that require more effort and thought. And you have no data to go off of when you're now launching this new thing. So one of the golden opportunities that I work with people in is like right now in your business, you can double your revenue with what you already have. There are things in there that you're not seeing that we can help you find. And then it's about the best opportunity for you to grow and starting with that. It's not trashing your whole business. We're not going to tell you like not to offer some of your products or anything like that.
Right.
It's about focus and time and energy. Where do you put that first to get the biggest ROI? And you optimize those things for profit. And people grow fast and it's fun. And it ignites that passion for why they want to do these things in the first place, which is the best part because people get jazzed. They are growing. They're thrilled.
Yeah, and I think something you mentioned too is important is like focusing on what's going to get the biggest return on investment and not necessarily what gets the most sales. Like what's the biggest return as far as profit? I think profit and sales people talk about a lot, but like
Yes.
profit or profitable time, right?
Yes.
Like where you maybe it's more time, but it's more enjoyable than something that was less time that you hate.
Mm-hmm.
Like where's the biggest return on investment on your time
Mm-hmm.
as well?
That's right.
I definitely have fallen in the first category of if something doesn't work, just burn it down and start over. Cause I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? I'm a workhorse.
Yeah.
If it takes me working, all day tomorrow to build the new offer, that's fine. I'll do it. You know what I mean? Like whatever it takes.
Yes. Yeah. It
So I
feels
definitely fall in
productive.
right. It feels productive when I'm like, nope, I'm just going to work my butt off and make this work.
Let me work harder.
Let me work harder. That'll fix it. Right. Because that's fixed so much before. Let me ask you this. So I'm going to come back to my question that I was like, ooh, got my wheels turning here. Obviously we have offers as far as products we offer, stuff to sell. What about a job? So if I'm a business owner and I'm like, I'm putting out there that I want to hire a new general manager, project manager, whatever it is, would you consider that an offer? Right? Because we have to attract a customer, perhaps, of like attracting the best person for the role. Do you think the same principles could apply when it comes to like job offers?
Yeah. It's how do you package this thing to speak to what
Right.
this hire actually wants and what makes your business the solution to what it is they're looking for. Yes, it's the same idea. And frankly, you could use this in all different aspects of like the hiring process, your offer, sales, same concept.
Yeah, because obviously you and I run in the story brand circle. I've helped clients use story brand in helping write recruiting copy,
Yeah,
right? And like recruiting material. I'm thinking about this Helios offer being like, how can you make someone who's looking at 10 different job applications or, job postings online and look at yours
that's
and be
right.
like, oh my gosh, I would kill to work for that company. Like
Hmm.
this role, all these have the same job title, but this one looks like my dream job, even though they all have the same job title. I think to me, I'm connecting on this. All sounds like you could do the same thing for that as well.
Yes. And from a job rec perspective, think about how soulless some of those listings are.
Oh my gosh.
I
Yeah.
mean, oh, like even just the energy part of thinking through the vein of like, what would make this a hell yes for this person that I want to hire changes everything about how you
Yeah.
construct that and even construct the interviews,
But yeah,
right?
that's something I'm working on is helping people just craft a good interview guide to
Hmm.
actually get good information out. Cause I'm like, sure, there's compliant questions, right? And you got to check to
Sure.
make, but I'm like, man, you can be getting so much more out of this if you just ask them better questions
Absolutely.
and getting them to talk about stuff they're passionate about and good at. And
Hmm.
that's a skill. And
Yes, it
it
is.
doesn't just happen by accident. Okay, let's go back here. So I told you I'm the burn it down person, the work hard person. But I know that you've said like you like helping businesses grow while doing less. How
Yes.
do you balance this desire for growth that I have, that probably everyone has if you're
Hmm.
an entrepreneur and a business owner,
Hmm.
with like avoiding doing unnecessary complex work? Because I mean, I'm listening to you and I'm like, okay, I need to craft my hell yes offer. And we talked about this earlier, but
Hmm.
how can I optimize that and do less, or not do less, but avoid unnecessary work? How's that?
Yeah. So if you're talking about from the client perspective, how do we help them balance that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think entrepreneurs naturally they want to be creative. They have a lot of ideas. And that's why they're good at what they do and that's why
Right.
they're entrepreneurs. That
Right.
manifests a lot of times in adding things, adding stuff.
Yep.
I need to like
Yep.
work harder, do things. So we're all guilty of this. Even for me, like I've had my offers and I'm like, "Oh, maybe I should just be doing something else." I mean, I watch myself like mentally go through this process. When I work with people, it's helping them really see how this opportunity that they could lean into is going to create the results that they want in a
Yeah.
fraction of time and energy and spend. A lot of times people can't see it. If they could see it, they would be doing it already and I wouldn't need to talk to them. So it is a matter of like going through the process with them and saying like, we're going to look at all of these pieces. We're going to see where there are these gaps and we're going to identify which one of these gaps, if we fill it, is the most powerful. And that's the process we go through. And so we are auditing what we're seeing. We're leaning into energetically where they are,
Yeah.
and then when we find the opportunity, we also are very mindful of like, how do we make this fun and creative? Because people do want to innovate. So we're like, okay, for example, if you have this membership program, because I was talking about memberships earlier,
Yeah.
you've got this membership program. Where is this in your offer stack? How does that offer work within your business? Okay, great. We're seeing this kind of information. Like, this is the first offer that everybody comes into when they're buying your premium programs or they're buying your group offer. So if we just take this offer and we make it convert better, we're seeing they're falling out here. So if we help you bridge that gap, this is what happens downstream. So we go to that place. How do we make this more interesting? Like, is it what you're saying on this webinar that you're holding? Like, how can we shift that a little bit with the data that we have? Or is it that landing page? Like, how do we make this landing page more of a hell yes? Like, what are you seeing from your clients that you want to be doing? Or maybe the person's like, you know what? I hate webinars. I actually want to be on stages. Okay, great. Well, we see that speaking is the way that everyone's getting into this membership. How do we take what we know from this data and incorporate it into you guest podcasting or getting on a stage or
Right.
right? But you're not starting from nowhere. You're optimizing the way that you're delivering a piece of this offer. Sometimes it's also like the offer on the back end needs to be more binge worthy. So you've got these people in this membership and they're loving it, but nobody out here knows about it. So we need to like take this piece and dial it up so that everyone can see the results. So we're getting very specific and then we're helping them get very creative. We don't want to get into a place where the answer to growth is that you can't do what you want to do. Because you know what? You could go out there and sell any widget and do something that you hate just to make money. We're not like, that's not where we're talking. We want it to be hell
Right.
yes for
Right.
you. Yeah. So, but we are looking at it from a return on investment. And so we'll sometimes say to people like, okay, you're speaking on every stage right now. What if you did this as a webinar and you did it from your house? And instead of talking to 20 people in this audience, you could talk to 50, same information, but we're leveraging it through this different technology and it would fill that gap in this way. And they're like, hell yes, that sounds amazing. I don't know why I didn't think of it, kind of a
Yeah.
thing. And then it optimizes it. Cause now instead of having 20 people on the other side of that talk, they have 150 people. And then they've got their percentage of conversion from there. And we're like looking at that.
Right.
Okay. And here we go. So it is a shift in how you look at your business. I would say the biggest result outside of the growing and the fun is you will never look at your business the same way once we have worked with you, because it is about efficiency. It is about quality. It's about doing more better than a lot of things mediocre and burning yourself out and taking all the energy to do that. And you watch how it just transforms everything, even your personal life. You just become a different business owner as a result of it.
Yeah, and because of that, you show up better as a husband, as a wife, as a dad, as a mom, as a kid, as a coworker, as a boss, as a business owner, all of it. You're just showing up better. It's that 80-20 principle, right? Like
Totally.
what's that 20% that is doing, 80% of your revenue that you could dive into and cut the other stuff and it's not even worry about
100%.
it.
Yes.
A question I have that comes up when I think about offers, and you mentioned webinars and speaking on stages. So if I feel like I have this incredible offer, right, and I'm
Mhm.
like, this is extremely valuable, how can I build trust with my audience? And I'll go one step further in that if I'm trying to sell this for the first time, right, how much do I give away? Because I know I've struggled with like, well, I don't want to give all of that away, right? Like if I give away too much, they're going to get in the program and be like, oh, I've kind of already given you all the value I have to offer. What's that balance of giving away information to build trust versus waiting for them to pay to give them the value? Like, where do you see the balance there?
Yeah. So I think one of the biggest factors in trust is your authenticity.
Yeah,
Like your energy being you and showing up and letting that shine is so important. Like sales and business is an energetic exchange. So when it comes to
it
getting
is.
out there, to your point that you were saying earlier, Jacob, when you are in belief, everybody knows it. So the first person you need to sell on this offer is you.
That's
We
huge.
make sales about everybody else. It's really about you first.
Yeah,
Because once that's bulletproof, you could hold the space for people, right? You let them not believe. And when they're first talking to you, they don't believe. And it's fine. You know it, right? So sell yourself first. So there's an energetic part of it. And then as far as like that tactical part of like, how do I move these people through the sales process? I think it's really like three pieces. And I love, love, love Jeff Walker. I don't know if you know of him. He's
no.
the launch guru. He's amazing. I would highly recommend checking him out. But when I launched my group coaching program, I needed to learn how to do launches. And I am one of those people who you never hear anyone say this, but like I love launching. I love it. People are like, oh, I want everything about my business except for the sales and the launching part, but I love it. And I used to launch every quarter. So this is really the backbone of his model, but he basically said like there's three pieces. The first part is the opportunity. It's letting people know, hey, I see you. I see you have a problem. I know what that is. I get it. I can help you. You're like agitating that problem and showing them the opportunity, like they don't have to stay there. The second part is telling them what they need to do in order to get out of the problem. So you're like basically saying like, I see you, you're losing people. You're up all night worrying about what's going to happen to your business. You feel like it's a revolving door all day long. Like, guess what? It doesn't have to be like this. There are organizations that are thriving because they have awesome people and they retain them. They call them in and they
Yep.
retain them. What you need is ABC. So you're giving them the what. And I have found that that's the most powerful, right? And then the last part is you don't need to be a special snowflake. Everyone can do this, including you. Let's connect the dots. And naturally, they're like, yes, yes, yes. How do I get more of Jacob and that thing? Through that, though, is the energetic piece. It's the what, giving them the what, and then having an awesome offer that's like a no-brainer. It's so tightly tied to those, points that they're like, yes, here we go. Let's do it.
That's huge. Because I'm like, I think if anyone's thinking about this, it's like how I know I've struggled with the balance of giving stuff away and the giving the what, not the how, right? Or I
Yes,
think Don said this, like, show them the what, have them pay for the how and the why. Like, or not
correct.
the why, but have them pay for the how.
Yes.
And show those success stories, right? Like show people who you've helped, show them what it looked like before and after,
Hmm.
which I think is huge. And yeah, I think it's huge when it comes to offers. So if there's one thing that our listeners could remember, if they're like, you know what, there's been a lot, there's a lot to do on offers, but if there's one thing they can do this week to get to a hell yes, what would it be?
Yeah, I would say go and look at what is happening in your business right now that lights you up. Go find your hell yes. It's already in your business. Look at the data, see where it's calling you. So it will point you in the direction of your hell yes offer. If you don't have it already, that's where it's hiding. And once you optimize that offer for profits and get really clear and say that I'm going to focus my time here, you will create so much more with so much less. It will change your world. And you will make money very quickly doing that.
And you'll love your life more, and you'll love your business more,
That's right.
and you'll just be a happier human that's contributing to the world
Hmm.
and making us all better for it. Jess, where can people connect with you, learn more about your work, check out your podcast, It's Your Offer? Where can people connect with you?
Yeah, I'm on all the interwebs. I'm on Instagram, on Facebook, and on LinkedIn at jessicamillercoaching.com is my website. I would love to connect with anybody in your world, so come find me there. And I have an offer optimization scorecard. If anyone's wondering, like, do I have a hell yes offer? You can go check that out for free. It gives you a lot of information about where your offer is at and tells you how to make it better immediately.
And I will link that in the episode description. Jess, thank you so much for being a guest on our podcast. Audience, thank you for watching and listening to this episode of the Waves Business Coaching Podcast. Take care.